Oh, what's up, everybody? We're back with another mock draft. This is a re-upload. So, first for the Jaguars, I obviously think they're gonna go with Trevor Lawrence. That's just my opinion. And for the Jets, I really think that they're gonna go with Zach Wilson because Sam Darnold might get traded, and he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he's a good prospect. And for the Dolphins, I really think that they're going to go with Jamar Chase. He's a really good wide receiver. And Tua, he really needs some receivers to get those stats up and make some good plays. And for the Falcons, I think Justin Fields, because Matt Ryan, I don't think he's that old, but he might retire. So I really think Justin Fields would be a good player to replace. Now the Bengals, I think they're gonna draft Penei Sewell. He's a great offensive lineman. I think he would do well for the Bengals. He was a beast out there. So for the Eagles, with Zach Ertz on trade, I really think that they would either go with Jalen Waddle or Kyle Pitts. I would say Kyle Pitts in my opinion, because Zach Ertz was a good tight end. Not that much this season, but he was a beast before. So I think they would go with Kyle Pitts. And for the Lions, I don't really know, since Marvin Jones is getting kind of old and might get traded. I think he is traded, but I think they're going to go with Jalen Waddle. Really, I think he would fit them so good. Now, for the Panthers, you see, we really need a quarterback. We don't need a wide receiver. Our wide receivers are okay, but we need but I think they're gonna go with Patrick Surtain, because our defensive line, but our CBs and that type of stuff, it's not the greatest. So I really think that they should draft Surtain. He'd be a really good player in my opinion. So now for the Broncos, I don't know. Since they kind of do need a wide receiver, a CB, I think they're going to head up on Caleb Farley. And now for the Cowboys, they need an OT or a type of CB, so I think they're going to go with Samuel Cosme, because you really need a good offensive tackles, and I think he was a good player. Now for the Giants, I think they're going to go with Devonta Smith. I think he would kind of fit in with the Giants. So, yeah. Alright, so for the Niners, they need a CB, a quarterback, and stuff like that. So I think they would go with the top option, Trey Lance. I think they'd go with that, in my opinion. Now for the Chargers, I would probably think that they'd go with Rashawn Slater, in a way. Alright, and for the Vikings, this is something that I've been thinking. Seahawks Productions has kind of gave me this idea, and I was really thinking about it, and it's a good idea. So I think Mac Jones will get drafted by the Vikings. So now, for the Patriots, I don't know. Since Micah Parsons is still on the line, I think they'd get Micah Parsons. Dude was a beast out there. So they need a CB on linebacker, or not line, but running back. I think they'd go with Najee Harris. Dude was a beast. He had a crazy hurdle, I think, against Notre Dame. It was insane. So they need an edge and a lot of this stuff. So, or what else do they need? Yeah, an IDL or whatever. But, I'm so sorry, I need to check again. But with the edge, I think they can go with Kwity Paye. He'd be a good draft pick for them. Alright, so now for the Dolphins. With him available, I think they're going to go with Christian Darrisaw, since he's still on the board. Alright, now for the Washington football team. Let me check one more time. If they do need a QB, there's not a lot on the list. I don't even think there's any. Yeah, there isn't. So they'd either need an offensive tackle. So like that. So I think my bad. I think they would go with Tevin Jenkins. That was something I've been thinking. So now for the Bears. Let me check. They need wide receiver, inside, I don't know, IOL, stuff like that. With a wide receiver and offensive tackle. But then I think Elijah Vera Tucker would fit them. Alright. So now for the Colts, they need an offensive tackle or sort of a CB. So I think they can go with J.C. Horn, in my opinion. Alright, so for the Titans. And also I forgot to talk, but yeah, I really think that. Alright, so for the Titans, they really need an edge so they can just sack the quarterback and it can sharpen up their defense, so they can go with Jalen Phillips. And now for the Jets, pick traded. So, something that they have a wide receiver up on the board, so they might go with Rashad Bateman because the wide receivers over there, they're not that amazing. Because they had Robbie Anderson but traded him to the Panthers. Alright, so now for the Steelers. They have James Conner, so I don't think they would go for a running back, really. I think they'd either go with the cornerback or offensive tackle. So, they might go with Jalen Mayfield. He's one of the first offensive tackles that made it on. And I really think Big Ben should get a good offensive line on him. Alright, now for the Jaguars. In order for Trevor Lawrence to get these complete passes, what I think, they need an offensive tackle or a CB. So, they might go with Liam Eichenberg because he's the only one that's on the board, really. So now for the Browns. Need an edge or a CB. So, they can draft Aziz Ojulari, sharpen up the defense to make them way better. And now for the Ravens, they need an edge, tight end, wide receiver. I mean, they have Hollywood Brown over there. Things are pretty good. But also, I kind of think that they would go with Terrace Marshall Jr., in my opinion. I know that they already have a few receivers, but that's just in my opinion. Alright, so they need a CB or an edge for the Saints. So they can go with Gregory Rousseau, I think I'm saying that right. That's what I think. Alright, for the Packers, they have David Bakhtiari, so they might have to go with a wide receiver. So they could get Kadarius Toney as a pick. And now for the Bills. Matt Milano got traded, so they're probably going to need another linebacker. So they can go with the top one on the board, Jeremy Owasu. Can't see the rest of it. Oh, my bad. Did I just... Wait, can I remove the pick? I'm sorry, guys. That was a malfunction. Okay. I just lost my patience there, because this thing was corrupting on me. Alright, so finally for the Bucks. They need edge, stuff like that. So, or do they need an IDL? Let me check. Yeah, they do. So they can go with Christian Barmore. Alright, well, that's kind of the end of this one, and I'll see you later.